So welcome to the Only Child Review. This is my homeboy for many years. We've known each other for at least, what is it, 2008? At least 15 years. There was a long time where we didn't speak to one another, and it wasn't on bad terms. It was just that awkward growing phase between 2000 and 2006. It is currently 2008. We are kicking it. We've done so over Skype, and he's actually in my hometown of Little Rock. We are actually kicking it at my favorite park. He's here in person, live.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Welcome, my friend,
Thank
to
you.
My state and also my show.
Thank you. Happy to be here. Good to see you guys.
Good. We are discussing today. There are a number of ways I wanted to introduce my friend here. Very likable guy. You'll like him. I love him. It's one of those things where, like, well, what do we talk about is the question. There's just so much to talk about. I don't want to delve too much in our history because that leaves you guys out of the fold, and I'm not into that. So I thought also, we were discussing things last night and we caught up. My point is humor. Humor, the importance and the way we particularly enact humor is an important part of how we've socialized, how we've come to know our terms. We went to a very small school together. We're talking 200 folks and small private in the middle of Moscow. Yeah. And so we, as the loud personalities, kind of dominated. And we used our humor to make sure people liked it. And that's got its own, that is what it is. So that's what we're going to discuss today.
I think a lot for the school. I think a big deal of it was a big part of it, part of the humor thing. For me, it's always been a protection. It's been a shield, you know.
The humor, your sense of humor has been kind of like a protective effort. Yeah.
It's always something. I put that out. That's my surface. It's humor. I try to be funny all the time, which gets annoying, obviously.
To you or to people around you? At what your jokes were thin, or is it just for you? You're like, I'm tired of this.
Yeah, well, I can understand how people, because it's always been like that. Every school I've ever been to, every job I ever had, it's always been like, if somebody says something and there's humor in it and there's a joke there, I have to pounce on it, you know?
Yeah. Well, you're a funny dude.
I gotta do it, and I realized, like, lately, I talked to you about this when we were on Skype earlier. I realized something because it limits other people, you know. It does a little bit because even though you might find it funny, it's like
a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're telling a joke.
Somebody says something, and I pounce on that, and it's like, you drop a comment that make what they said funny.
Okay, so you reflect off what they said.
Exactly.
Was what they said funny in the first place, or you just
just a regular thing, and there's something in there that you can pounce on. Also, I get heavily into I correct people's language.
Yeah, he's great with language. He's not an native English speaker, though you'll note he speaks better than you do, and I do often.
It's
not an insult either. He's just amazingly good with his English.
Well, I got good English. I watch a lot of TV.
Awesome.
I watch a lot of TOCR.
Yeah.
Check out the Only Child Review. OnlyChildReview.com.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah, well.
But what I was saying is, I understood, because it gets annoying, you know. If you're somebody else, if you're the other person, I try to see myself. I try to see what other people feel like try to see it from their side, their perspective. And if you're the other person, and every time you tell something, every time you have something to say, there's that guy in the corner. Like at school, it was always you sit back at the back of the class and just arms crossed, legs up. You know, I don't care.
Yeah.
And you're up front, and you're saying something, you're answering a question from the teacher.
Oh, and you're serious. You're a serious student.
Yeah. And then there's always that guy at the back of the class. He's got to make a wisecrack out of it, you know. And I can definitely see how that's gets annoying because that's a problem for people. Like a lot of people have problems speaking out loud and speaking in front of others.
Yeah.
And if you got a heckler, like if you're in school, you're in your class.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're really nervous about. Yeah, it's me. I'm the heckler. You know? and you're doing your presentation, and it's like you got a job to do. You got to present this stuff and get something on whatever, like Morocco. Yeah, you're in the 4th grade, and you're Morocco is a country in northern Africa, and they have their major exports rice. You got rice in Morocco? Dude, you're stupid. No, it's not like that. It's not harsh like that. But you know what I'm saying? They rock it in Morocco and stuff like that. And I can understand how that gets really tiresome. I thought about that a lot.
Really?
Yeah. I want to tone it down, but I can't.
Because you got to pound.
I got to do it.
And in all fairness, you know, it's not like he's saying this because, well, I just want to be a heckler. That's what I want to be. Now, there is an element to that because you're heckling.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I say this to him. He knows how I was. I was not a serious student. I didn't see myself as a heckler, though maybe I was to some people.
Yeah.
Excuse me, we're here to study.
Yeah.
You know, and I respect that.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to be a heckler. That's not why I bursted in with my ideas. I bursted in because it's like he mentions the word pounce. That's what he uses to describe what he does in terms of a joke. And it's totally this way. It's maximizing something that is mundane, but has an opportunity for humor.
Right.
And I don't know about you, but I always found when he and I are the funny guys. You guys have had these guys at your school, the funny guys. He was one and I was one at a very small school. It was a pretty dynamic duo. And it was, it was wild.
It's a good thing. I think it was a good. We weren't in the same year, the same grade.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably a good thing.
I think so too.
It might have been a little overbearing.
Yeah.
Like if we were in the same class every day. Like not for us. I mean.
I think we would have been fine.
It would have been kick-ass for us, but for other people, it might have been too much because there's a lot of attention. I mean, I take up a lot of space. Like not just physically, but in general.
Very there.
I'm very much there.
Yeah.
And I got out some crap about it. Like last time I went to school and I studied. There were some people who thought, all right, dude, you got to calm down.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, no, man, you got to step it up.
Yeah.
Don't hate.
Yeah. Don't hate the play. Hate the game.
You got to participate.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. And it's always been like that. And we were talking last night.
Yeah.
About you told me about when you were in college you ripped on some guy.
Yeah, I was really drunk. I was really drunk, and I just tore him up, and I heard it was hilarious.
And for me, it's like I do that too. You know, you beat up people verbally is what you do.
Sure. Yeah, it's abusive. It can be
It
abusive.
can be really abusive, and I do that too sometimes. And I'm sorry about it, and I'm ashamed of it when it happens. Well, but it's still funny.
I'm ashamed of it, but it was hilarious.
It's funny, you know, and it's to me, it's always you gotta be like I'm very much into like the objective perspective. You gotta see it from the outside.
I like that.
Is it funny? Then it's funny. I don't care. I care that it hurts people. Like if we're sitting here right now and it's just you and me, obviously there's the people out here. But if we're sitting out here and you say something, I can say something to you that could be really offensive to you, but it's still gonna be funny, you know. And if it's funny, it's all right. For me, that's it really justifies almost anything. Almost anything.